Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to say right now. That exhaustion in your body, the kind that no amount of sleep can touch, stop explaining it away. The enemy has been working overtime this week for one reason, and one reason only. He sees the shift coming before you do. It all breaks open in the next 24 hours. The stagnation, the heaviness, the silence that has been pressing down on every single area of your life. But here is what you need to understand before I go any further. It is not ending in spite of what you have been going through. It is ending because of it. Think back to that moment this week when your body felt so heavy you could barely function. When you sat somewhere and stared at nothing because you had no energy left to perform for anyone. You thought that was a breakdown. You thought something was wrong with you, but you did not know it then. That was not collapse. That was your spirit absorbing the weight of a transformation so massive your physical body felt it first. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine appointment, written into your timeline before the foundations of the earth were laid. You are standing at the edge of something that cannot be undone. Stay until the very last second of this message, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what this strange physical exhaustion actually means in the spirit realm. I'm going to walk you through the specific signs that confirm a massive shift is already in motion in your life right now. And at the end, I am going to give you the declaration that seals this season shut and opens the next one with legal spiritual authority. Do not click away. Your future self is begging you to stay, because if you leave now, you will walk out of this moment without the interpretation you have been desperately searching for. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like inside your body. The fatigue has not been normal. It has been strange, deep in a way that feels almost spiritual, like something is happening beneath the surface of your skin that you cannot name or explain. Maybe you woke up at 3 in the morning this week and felt completely drained, even though you had not done anything. You lay there in the dark, wondering why your arms felt heavy, why your chest felt tight, why even breathing felt like effort. Or maybe it hit you in the middle of an ordinary moment, sitting at your desk, standing in the kitchen, driving somewhere familiar, and a wave of exhaustion washed over you so suddenly that you had to stop and hold on to something. Not tired from lack of sleep, tired in your soul. You have been carrying something invisible, and it has been pressing down on you like a weight you cannot set on the floor. You feel suspended, like the old season has closed behind you, but the new one has not opened yet, and you are standing in a hallway with no doors, wondering if you somehow missed your moment. And in that suspended place, the enemy has been whispering a very specific lie. He has been telling you that the exhaustion is evidence of spiritual failure. He has been replaying the moments where you pulled back, where you went quiet, where you stopped showing up the way you used to. That morning you did not pray. That week you could not open your Bible. That season where all you could do was breathe. He has been telling you that your body feels this way because you have fallen behind in the spirit, that you have lost ground, that the weariness you feel is the consequence of a faith that has grown cold. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Listen to that promise carefully. The renewal of strength comes after the waiting, not before it. The exhaustion you have been feeling is not the evidence of spiritual failure. It is the evidence of a spirit in active transformation. Eagles do not grow new wings without going through a molting season where their old feathers fall out and they become temporarily grounded. You are not grounded because you failed. You are grounded because heaven is regrowing something in you that is stronger than what you had before. The heaviness you feel is not punishment. It is preparation. It is not the weight of what you have lost. It is the weight of what is being placed on your shoulders before you even know what you are being trusted to carry. You thought the silence meant God had gone quiet. You thought the exhaustion meant your spirit had grown weak. But let me reframe your reality right now. The strange physical tiredness that has no natural explanation is the sign. It is the signal. It is your body responding to a spiritual event so significant that the natural cannot contain it without feeling the pressure. You are not falling apart. You are being reconstructed. This is not a cycle beginning again. This is a conclusion arriving at last. Some messages confirm what your spirit already knew. If something just shifted inside you, that is not emotion. That is activation. And what comes next matters more than what came before. The inner sanctum exists for exactly this moment in your journey. 365 days of divine transmissions delivered to you every single morning. A prophetic word, a decree of authority, a scripture weapon, and a prayer assignment written as if God is speaking directly to your situation. It also comes with the silent war, a spiritual attack diagnostic that reveals exactly where the enemy has been hitting you and gives you the counter prayer for each assault. Plus the midnight watch. 30 prayers designed for the 3 in the morning hour that most chosen ones are already waking up to but do not know how to use. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it will not stay there forever. And now that your spirit has received that reframe, a gentle yet powerful repositioning of your understanding, I need to take you somewhere deeper, to illuminate the hidden architecture of your current experience. Because understanding what the exhaustion means, truly grasping its sacred implication, is only the beginning of a profound unveiling. What I want you to see next, with clarity that penetrates the fog of your present struggles, is why this particular moment, this exact season of your life, with its unique challenges and profound pressures, was meticulously chosen for the very weight you have been carrying. It is not arbitrary. It is by design, woven into the tapestry of your divine unfolding. Think about what happens in the natural world before a significant weather event. Not just any storm, but one that reshapes landscapes and alters the very course of seasons. The atmosphere itself begins to change, a subtle shift that precedes the visible tempest by hours, sometimes even days. Animals with an innate wisdom honed over millennia go still. Their usual chatter ceases, their movements become subdued. The very air takes on a different, palpable quality, thick with an unspoken anticipation. Birds, usually soaring and singing, stop their melodies, sensing a seismic shift on the horizon. There is an unmistakable pressure in the environment, a deep vibrational hum that living things can feel in their very bones, in the core of their being, long before their eyes see the first ripple of what is coming. That visceral response is not fear in the common sense of panic or terror. No, that is profound sensitivity. That is a creature responding with its entire being to forces that have not yet become visible, energies that are forming just beyond the veil of ordinary perception. And what you have been feeling in your body this week, that unexplained pressure, that strange atmospheric heaviness that medical explanations cannot fully grasp, that persistent weariness that seems to defy rest, is precisely the same phenomenon. Your spirit, far from being a passive entity, is a living instrument, exquisitely tuned and finely calibrated. It has been picking up a frequency, a divine broadcast of impending change that your mind, with its reliance on logic and tangible evidence, has not yet been given the appropriate language or context for. It is a spiritual tremor, an internal barometer responding to a gathering of unseen power, a prelude to a monumental shift. You are not spiritually dull, numb, or unresponsive, as the whispers of doubt might suggest. On the contrary, you are profoundly, exquisitely spiritually sensitive. And make no mistake, the enemy of your soul has spent years, decades even, employing insidious tactics to convince you that the two are the same thing. He wants you to believe that your heightened awareness of spiritual currents is actually a weakness, a flaw, a sign of your ineptitude. He seeks to blur the lines between genuine spiritual perception and mere emotional instability, hoping to disorient you. Because if he can succeed in getting you to doubt the validity of your own spiritual instrument, if he can coax you, through shame or self-condemnation, to silence its innate promptings, to dismiss its subtle signals, then you will never hear the crucial truths it is trying to tell you. You will miss the divine intelligence that is already being communicated, the warnings, the encouragements, the precise directions for your next steps. His strategy is to mute the very channel through which heaven communicates its imminent designs. But here is where this understanding deepens even further, like a taproot reaching into fertile, unseen soil. It is not enough, truly, to merely know intellectually that transformation is happening, that a profound metamorphosis is underway. While that knowledge is a vital first step in reframing your experience, it is only the outer layer. You need to understand with visceral clarity what this transformation is actually costing you, the precious finite currency it demands. And more profoundly still, you need to grasp why that very cost, that uncomfortable exchange, is not a sign of deficit or loss, but is in fact the undeniable confirmation, the sacred seal of validation you have been subconsciously waiting for. It is the proof that something truly monumental is at stake and actively in motion. There is a pivotal moment in the life of Jacob, recorded in the ancient scriptures, that most people tend to rush past. They are too eager, understandably, to arrive at the celebrated blessing, the culmination of the struggle. But Genesis 32 paints a more profound picture, revealing that Jacob wrestled with a mysterious figure who we later understand to be God himself, through the entire night. This was not a fleeting moment of contemplation, nor was it a mere symbolic struggle. This was a physical, raw, guttural encounter, body against body, spirit against spirit, a desperate embrace that lasted until the breaking of dawn, until the very first light began to pierce the darkness. And when that epic, transformative encounter was finally over, Jacob did indeed walk away with a glorious new name, Israel, meaning one who struggles with God and prevails, and with it, a new, elevated destiny. But he also walked away with a profound, indelible mark, a limp. He carried the visible wound of that encounter, a dislocated hip, in his body for the rest of his earthly life. Now here is what the traditional narratives, what the church, in its eagerness to highlight triumph, rarely takes the time to truly explain about that limp. It was not a consequence of failure. It was not a punitive measure from God, punishing him for holding on too long or too fiercely. No, that limp was Jacob's undeniable physical proof. Every single step he took from that moment forward, every movement of his gait, every sway of his body, declared to anyone who possessed the discernment to read the spiritual markers, this man has been in the very presence of God, at a level so profound, so intimate, so shattering, that it left an indelible physical mark upon his body. The wound was not a weakness, it was the testimony. It was the living testament to an unshakable resolve and a divine encounter that forever altered his substance. And what your body has been carrying, the persistent heaviness in your limbs, the bone-deep fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to touch, the generalized ache that medicine cannot precisely locate or explain away, this, my friend, is your contemporary personal version of Jacob's limp. It is not the sign of a person who is losing ground, who is failing, or whose body is breaking down without purpose. It is, instead, the sacred mark of a person who has been, or is currently, deep in a divine encounter, a spiritual wrestling match with the Almighty, whether they consciously realized it in the moment or not. It is the physical evidence of profound spiritual work, a testament to the fact that you have been touched by the divine. And this revelation leads us to something even more subtle, something most people miss entirely in their pursuit of overt spiritual experiences. The encounters that change you most profoundly, that truly reforge the very core of your being, are not always the ones where you felt the palpable presence of God flood the room like an electrical current, where your heart burned within you with an undeniable, consuming fire. While those moments are undeniably glorious and deeply cherished, they often touch the surface. Sometimes, paradoxically, the most significant, life-altering encounters happen in the deepest silence. They unfold in the profound stillness of what feels like absence. They occur in the lonely, uncelebrated moments where you felt absolutely nothing at all, no surge of emotion, no spiritual sensation, and yet you kept breathing anyway. You kept showing up. You kept taking the next step, simply because you had to. Those quiet moments of sheer endurance, those unrecognized acts of perseverance in the face of spiritual barrenness, those are the ones that do the deepest, most foundational work within the hidden chambers of your soul, because fire, with its radiant heat and brilliant light, can warm the surface of a thing, illuminating and inspiring, but it is unrelenting, sustained pressure, the slow, consistent force applied over time, that truly transforms a thing all the way through, from its outermost layer to its innermost core. Think of a seed germinating in the dark soil, or a diamond forming under immense geological force. It is in that silent, unyielding pressure that true spiritual alchemy takes place. You, in your understandable human interpretation, thought the quiet meant absence. You mistook the lack of overt sensation, the deafening silence of the spiritual landscape, for a sign that God had withdrawn, that he was nowhere to be found. But the profound truth is, the quiet was never absence. The quiet, in its profound depth and unyielding nature, was the encounter itself. It was the divine presence manifesting not in overt sound or sensation, but in the very space of profound quietude, allowing for a work that required no external distraction, only internal surrender and recalibration. And what is coming next in just a moment, a truth I am about to unveil, is the piece that is going to fundamentally challenge the very way you have been reading and interpreting your own story, the narrative you have constructed around your life's journey. So, please, stay with me, lean in, because this is precisely where the real turning point, the hinge upon which your future pivots, truly lives. Before we delve into that pivotal insight, I need you to grasp something absolutely essential about a recurring pattern that has faithfully, even relentlessly, followed you through this entire season, shaping its contours and defining its challenges. Every single person who carries a chosen assignment, a divine mandate, an appointed purpose, will at some point go through what I specifically call the corridor. It is that suspended, indeterminate place you might have described earlier, that ethereal, frustrating space where the old chapter of your life has definitively ended, its doors irrevocably closed, and yet the new chapter has not, with any tangible evidence, yet begun. It is a place where there are no visible doors leading out, only towering blank walls that stretch into an unending unknown, and you find yourself standing disoriented in the middle, gazing into the featureless void, wondering with increasing anxiety if you somehow wandered off the appointed path entirely, if you misheard the divine instructions, or if you simply got lost. Understand this with absolute clarity. The corridor is not a punishment for a misstep. It is not a divine rebuke, and it is certainly not a consequence of failure. It is rather a meticulously designed preparation chamber. It is a sacred holding pattern, a chrysalis for your becoming. And the fundamental reason it feels so disorienting, so unsettling to your spirit and your senses, is precisely because corridors, by their very nature and architectural design, are not intended or designed for comfort. They are specifically designed for transition. You do not, in your practical everyday life, set up a permanent home in a hallway. You do not unpack your belongings and attempt to establish roots in a transitional space. You move through it. But the act of moving through it, of navigating its unsettling emptiness, absolutely requires that you do not, under any circumstances, mistake the transition itself for the ultimate destination. It is a passage, not a stopping point. This, then, is precisely where so many chosen ones, so many with a sacred calling, unfortunately get derailed. Not surprisingly in the obvious dramatic valleys of their lives, where the challenges are clear and the enemy is visible. No, they get derailed in the corridor, because the valley, for all its difficulty and darkness, at least possesses visible terrain. It has a measurable depth, palpable challenges, and discernible walls you can see and press against. There is a certain clarity in a difficult valley, but the corridor, by stark contrast, is featureless. It is a blank canvas, devoid of landmarks, devoid of familiar indicators. And in such a featureless, indeterminate place, the human soul, craving meaning and narrative, begins to write its own story on those blank, echoing walls. And that story, born of disorientation and fear, is almost invariably the wrong one. It quickly morphs into a narrative of abandonment, a tale of interminable delay, a saga of missed timing and squandered potential, a confirmation of inner doubts. And the insidious genius of the enemy in the corridor is that he does not even have to expend much effort to whisper his lies. You are already so profoundly disoriented, so desperately grasping for explanation, that your own mind, left unchecked and unaided, becomes his most effective, most devastating instrument of deception. It becomes a self-propagating echo chamber of doubt and despair. But what if I told you? What if I unveiled the truth that God, in his infinite wisdom and precise sovereignty, often does some of his most profound, most precise, and most transformative work in these very featureless places? Think about the colossal figure of Moses in the wilderness. 40 years of what appeared to be profound silence. 40 years of what felt like an utter demotion from his princely status. 40 years of an apparent, crushing distance from the monumental calling he knew. Deep in his spirit, was on his life. He was a shepherd, tending sheep in the barren lands, an ordinary, unremarkable existence after a life of privilege. The burning bush, that spectacular divine encounter that fundamentally shifted the course of human history, did not appear to him at the height of his Egyptian power, nor at the peak of his human performance or influence. It appeared to him unexpectedly, dramatically, in the absolute middle of his desert season, when he was engaged in the most ordinary, the most unremarkable, the most mundane work of his life. The truth is, the bush was always burning. The divine presence, the sacred fire, was always there, always present, always radiating. Moses just finally, after 40 years of stripping away, finally had the stillness within his soul, the profound internal quietude to truly notice it, to finally perceive what was already there all along. Your corridor is not empty, my friend. It is teeming with divine activity, pregnant with potential. You simply have not been still long enough, not allowed yourself the profound internal quiet to see what has been patiently, powerfully and perfectly there all along, waiting for your perception to align with its reality. And now that that profound truth has landed, now that your spirit has begun to recalibrate to this deeper understanding, here is the peace, the startling revelation that most people are absolutely not expecting. Coming up in just a moment, the hidden agreement, the unspoken covenant that has been quietly, subtly, yet powerfully draining your spiritual authority, siphoning your God-given power without your conscious permission or even your awareness. This particular insight, this deeper layer of truth, will require you to be uncomfortably honest with yourself in a way that most conventional teachings never dare to ask. A level of raw, unflinching self-examination. So stay with me, open your heart, because this is where liberation truly begins. Because before the shift fully arrives, before the breakthrough you've been yearning for can manifest in its complete glory, there is something it simply cannot pass through. There is an unseen barrier. And surprisingly, it is not the enemy's overt assignment, his obvious attacks, or his external machinations. It is not even your past, with all its wounds and regrets, though those play a role in its formation. No, it is something far more insidious, something you yourself have been holding on to, perhaps even clutching tightly, something you cleverly told yourself was genuine wisdom. You rationalized it, convincing yourself it was a form of prudent discernment. You even wrapped it in the sacred language of faith, cloaking it in spiritual terminology. But if you are brave enough, if you are willing to trace it all the way back, through its convoluted paths, to its absolute primal root, it is fundamentally fear. Not the trembling, obvious, heart-pounding kind of fear that you can immediately point to and name, the kind that clearly screams danger. No, this is the sophisticated kind of fear, the subtle, chameleon-like fear, the kind that sounds convincingly like patience but is, in its deeper truth, actually a debilitating paralysis, a spiritual inertia, the kind that articulates itself as waiting on God's perfect timing, but is, in reality, a covert waiting for absolute certainty before you dare to move. Which, when you strip away the layers of spiritualized language, means you have been implicitly, unconsciously, asking God to completely remove all elements of risk, to eliminate every shred of uncertainty before you are willing to take the divinely appointed step. And let us be unequivocally clear, that is not faith, that is not trust. That, my friend, is a negotiation. It is an attempt to control the variables of a divine process, to engineer a risk-free miracle. Think about the iconic moment of Peter standing in the boat on the tumultuous Sea of Galilee, witnessing Jesus walking on water. The invitation, the divine command, had already been definitively given. Come. The authoritative word, pregnant with supernatural power and boundless possibility, had already been spoken directly over his life, piercing through the storm's roar. And Peter, in a breathtaking act of courage and audacious faith, did step out, but only after a long, agonizing moment of looking at the churning water, calculating with his human mind what it would surely cost him, weighing the catastrophic consequences if the word of Jesus did not, for some reason, hold true. He mentally tallied the risks, assessed the dangers, and wrestled with the enormity of the unknown. And here is the raw, unvarnished truth that lives beneath the surface of that profound moment, a truth often overlooked. The water did not magically get calmer before he stepped. The howling wind did not miraculously die down. The terrifying uncertainty did not magically resolve itself into a peaceful certainty. Peter moved, he acted, he stepped, in the full, overwhelming presence of every logical, rational, fear-inducing reason not to. He embraced the chaotic unknown, and the miracle, the true supernatural manifestation, did not happen while he was safely contained in the boat, mentally preparing or negotiating. It happened the precise, breathtaking moment his foot actually hit the water. You, similarly, have been waiting, perhaps unconsciously, for the water of your circumstances to calm, for the storms to abate, for certainty to be guaranteed before you take your step. But the profound, liberating truth is this: the miracle is not in the calming of the waters. The miracle is in the stepping. It is in the courageous, faith-fueled act of putting your foot onto the turbulent unknown, trusting that the unseen foundation will materialize beneath you. The fear that has been so cleverly disguised as wisdom in your life, the relentless overthinking that you've cloaked in the respectable attire of discernment, the pervasive hesitation that you've dressed up as spiritual patience, the deeply ingrained self-protection that you've rationalized as sound spiritual strategy, that, my friend, has been the corridor's hidden door all along. It has been the invisible barrier, the cunningly disguised exit point that has kept you trapped in transition, unable to fully step into the expansive, open field of your divine assignment. And the moment, the liberating breakthrough moment, you courageously name it for what it truly is, stripping away its deceptive camouflage and exposing its true nature. It instantly loses its authority, its grip, its paralyzing power over your next crucial step. It is in the naming that the chains begin to loosen. But here is where this journey into truth gets genuinely uncomfortable, and I need you to stay with me, to lean in even closer, because this is the layer beneath the layer, the core truth that most messages, even well-meaning ones, never quite reach. This is the sacred, exposed nerve that few dare to touch, precisely because it requires a level of honesty, a raw vulnerability that is genuinely costly, demanding a profound courage to confront. The thing that has ultimately been holding the breakthrough, that has kept it patiently waiting at the very threshold of your life, is not, at its deepest root, the fear we just named. While that fear is undeniably real, a potent force, it is not the deepest root, not the fundamental source. The true root, the hidden core, is this. Somewhere in the arduous, often painful process of being deeply wounded, of being consistently overlooked, of being profoundly misread and underestimated, of being repeatedly passed over for opportunities, for recognition, for love, somewhere in the midst of all that soul-bruising experience, you made a quiet, almost imperceptible agreement with yourself, a subconscious pact. You agreed that maybe, just maybe, the divine calling on your life was conditional, that perhaps the glorious promise God had spoken over you had hidden terms, unspoken prerequisites that you had not fully met, that you were continually falling short of. You allowed the insidious thought to take root that maybe the real reason the door had not opened yet, the reason the breakthrough was delayed, was because you were not quite enough. Not quite healed enough from your past traumas, not quite faithful enough in your daily walk, not quite consistent enough in your spiritual disciplines. And rather than courageously bring that deeply personal, deeply painful agreement into the purifying light of God's grace, you held it close, clutching it like a desperate, misguided comfort blanket. Because in a twisted, paradoxical way, it felt safer, more controllable, to believe that the delay was your fault, a direct consequence of your own inadequacy, than it felt to wholeheartedly trust that God's timing was absolutely sovereign, utterly perfect and unshakably faithful, even over your perceived imperfections and your very real humanity. Because if the delay was your fault, if it stemmed from your shortcomings, then at least you had a perceived measure of control over when it ended. And control, even painful, self-blaming control, felt less terrifying, less vulnerable, less exposed than the terrifying, liberating, boundless unknown of absolute surrender to a sovereign, unfathomable God. It was a trade-off, comfort of self-blame over the terror of true surrender. But here is what heaven, in its boundless love and unwavering truth, is saying directly to that ancient, insidious agreement you unknowingly made. Listen closely, for this is the sound of chains breaking. The door was never, not for a single moment, waiting for your perfection. It was never going to magically swing open the day you finally got everything right, when you achieved some unattainable standard of flawless performance. Because that kind of door, the door that demands human perfection as a prerequisite, simply does not exist in the kingdom of God. Grace, true divine grace, does not operate with a prerequisite list. It is freely given, lavishly poured out. The call, your sacred call, does not have a qualifying round. It is an irrevocable decree from eternity. The breakthrough you have been so earnestly praying for, the shift you have been desperately anticipating, was not scheduled for the moment you finally, miraculously, became enough in your own eyes or the eyes of the world. No, it was scheduled, divinely appointed, for the precise, liberating moment you finally stopped performing, ceased striving for an imagined perfection, and simply showed up in your raw, authentic, unedited truth as exactly who you are, cracks and all, without pretense or performance. God, the creator of the cosmos, the orchestrator of galaxies, did not call the finished, polished, perfected, future version of you. He called you precisely in the middle of your unfinished reality, in the midst of your mid-sentence narratives, in the very heart of your still-in-process, beautifully human journey. And he called you anyway. He called you deliberately, intentionally, with full, perfect awareness of every crack in your armor, every rough corner in your character, every single place you have not yet reached, every wound you still carry, every area where you feel incomplete. He called that version of you. He chose that version of you in all your glorious imperfection, and he has been faithfully, lovingly, powerfully working through that version of you this entire magnificent time, shaping you, refining you, using every part of your story for his greater purpose. And now, for what I genuinely did not expect to say here, this truth emerging from a deeper place, but it needs to be said, with an urgent, piercing clarity. The thing that has actually been holding the shift, that has been keeping the breakthrough poised at the very precipice of manifestation, is not ultimately your fear, as real and potent as it has felt. And it is not even the quiet agreement you made in the deep wound of your past, as impactful as that subconscious pact has been. It is not even the pervasive hidden belief that you are inherently not enough, though that belief has certainly been a significant barrier. No, the profound underlying truth is that it is the very way you have been praying. Not the frequency of your prayers, not the devotional posture you assume, not even the raw intensity or the length of your supplications, but rather it is the fundamental assumption embedded deep inside of it, the unspoken theology woven into its fabric. Because there exists a particular kind of prayer, a deeply ingrained pattern that sounds undeniably like faith on the surface, that uses all the right spiritual vocabulary, but functions, at its core, like a subtle, insidious doubt. And it is the prayer that says, with a tone of hopeful uncertainty, God, if you are willing, please move in my life. If you truly see me, if I am, by some grace, worthy, if the timing is actually right, if I have not, through my failures, disqualified myself, if you have not, somehow, inexplicably, changed your mind about me and my purpose. That prayer, as sincere, as heartfelt, as desperate as it may be in its delivery, carries a profound, fundamental question mark where there should, by divine right and revelation, be an unwavering declaration, and the spiritual realm, the very fabric of heavenly response, does not respond to questions about God's inherent willingness, for his will is clear and his promises are immutable. It responds with immediate, transformative power to absolute alignment with God's already spoken word, to the unshakable certainty of his declared truth. You were not called, my friend, to pray hoping he would show up, as if his presence or his intention were ever in question. as if you had to coax him into action. You were called by divine decree to declare what he has already unequivocally spoken over your life, what he has already established in the heavenly realms, and then, with unwavering expectation, to watch the entire atmosphere around you, both natural and spiritual, rearrange itself, bending and shifting, aligning itself around that authoritative, spoken word. The shift, the profound, liberating breakthrough you have been so patiently, so desperately waiting for, has, in reality, been patiently, powerfully waiting for you. It has been waiting for you to stop asking for permission for the promise that is already yours, and to instead, with boldness and conviction, start walking with every fiber of your being in the inherent authority of it. So tonight, before you sleep, before you allow this sacred, pivotal moment to pass into the ether of forgotten thoughts, I want you to perform a simple yet profoundly powerful act of declaration. I want you to place your hand firmly on your chest, right over the sacred space of your heart, the very place that has been carrying all of this unspoken weight, all of this profound spiritual pressure, and speak this out loud. Not in the silent, contained confines of your head, where doubt can still whisper its lies. No, out loud, with your voice, with conviction, where the spiritual atmosphere around you can hear it, where the very angels and principalities are put on notice. Say this with me, letting each word resonate deep within your being. I release the agreement that I am not enough. I renounce every lie that called my waiting a failure, my silence a defeat, and my weariness a sign of abandonment. I break every covenant with delay that I entered through fear, through doubt, and through the wounds I was never meant to carry alone. I declare that the season of the corridor is closing behind me now, and I'm stepping through into the open field of my assignment. I do not need certainty before I move. I do not need permission before I walk. I do not need to be finished before I am faithful. I am chosen. I am called. I am covered. And I step forward from this moment with the full weight of heaven behind every decision I make. The breakthrough is not coming. It is already in motion, and I align my mind, my body, and my spirit with everything God has already spoken over my life. This season is sealed. The next one is open, and I walk in, right now, as exactly who I am. If that declaration landed in your body, if it vibrated through your soul, the way it was profoundly meant to, then you already know, deep in your spirit, that what you just experienced was far more than a mere message, more than a simple set of words. It was a potent, transformative encounter. And if you find yourself waking up repeatedly at 3 in the morning, if you have been carrying this profound, inexplicable kind of spiritual weight without the essential tools to interpret it, without the daily word that provides clarity, without the counter prayers that dismantle lies, and without the specific decrees written precisely for this unique kind of spiritual warfare, for these very specific seasons of transition and pressure, then know this, with absolute certainty: what I meticulously built inside the inner sanctum was made by divine design for this exact moment in your journey. This is your moment of breakthrough, and the resources are waiting for you. The link is in the first pinned comment. Do not, I repeat, do not scroll past it as if it were just another piece of content. Your spirit already knows, with an undeniable certainty, whether this is for you, whether this is the key to unlocking your next season.